Welcome. Today we're going to see a little bit of my process with this piece. It's a piece that I kind of winged it. I was not thinking much about it. The idea was to create a succubus that was like just licking an ice cream. So sometimes what I do is that I kind of like improvise when I don't have a clear concept, but I think that's something really fun that I do is just not plan too much. I do plan paintings when it comes to client and work and jobs, but when it comes to personal art, I start with something that it's kind of like a surprise. Oh, I wonder what it's gonna look. I wonder how it's gonna look like in the end. So the idea was just this girl licking an ice cream, something sexy. But eventually I was like, okay, let me do a couple of sketches. I started drawing something weird, like something weird on the ice cream and stuff. So here I already had the idea more planned out. I was like, okay, succubus, and she is licking an ice cream and stuff like that. And I first start a loose sketch, and eventually like a loose sketch, right? A loose sketch. So I start placing the values in. I start playing with the shapes, maybe the design of the character. I decided that I wanted to have some tattoos on her. I wanted the ice cream to be like a creature, and I wanted the creature to be weird. I wanted it to be like kind of like sexy, kind of hot and stuff like that. So I wanted to, make that expression on her and stuff. And I also was like, okay, this is gonna be my OC. So first what I do is I at the beginning it was just gonna be a black and white color sketch, a black and white sketch, but eventually I added color. So right now what I'm doing is just basically thinking about what I'm gonna do, improvising, not thinking much. I have some reference on the side. So for people who wonder, hey, how do I get better at drawing? Well, I have a bunch of reference on the side. Like I have an exact reference of a person licking an ice cream. It's a woman licking an ice cream in a non-sexual way, but it's a reference, right? I just wanted to make sure I got the fingers right and everything. I got some reference for the horns and stuff. Then I thought that I wanted to maybe experiment with the colors a little bit, maybe not paint with regular skin tones. So I thought, okay, maybe some blues, and I'm gonna make this color palette like blues and reds. That's something that I decided on. Oh wait, that's something else. So here I was like trying to figure out the design, just having fun. That's the reality is I try to have as much fun as I can when I paint. Planning is a pain in the ass for me. So, and for the people who, like for jobs I do plan, don't take me wrong. But when it comes to painting personal stuff, I really don't plan anything. But I think that's fun, so I do it. But what I do plan is the reference. I have to get that right because I don't want stuff to look weird, and in the end you also like have trouble. So here what I'm doing is that I'm making sure what are my values. You might ask, what is the value? The value is how dark or light a tone is on a color, right? So for example, right now here the darkest tone, the darkest value, right, is on the hair and on the outfit and on the gloves. That's the dark value, right? And the lightest values are on the face, right? So the reason I did that is so we can have a lot of contrast on her face and stuff. I wanted to make sure I didn't lose that idea that I had at the beginning of something like a little bit of like soft, like bluish, and maybe a little bit kind of like eerie and soft. I didn't want to lose that. I don't want it to. The objective is to not make this look like stiff and so here I'm painting the breasts because I'm gonna cover them later, but I have to make sure they look right. They're kind of big, so it was kind of difficult. That was very difficult to paint those. I was thinking about the outfits. This character, In the end, ended up with some many outfit variations. I've been doing that lately, adding many outfit variations to the painting. So here I am still keeping my darkest values in the hair and the outfit, right? And the skin is the lightest values. I am adding some volume, and this is an important part of my process. So the shadows that she has right now, as you can see, like for example on the ice cream and on the side of the nose, the shadows are kind of like bluish, but the shadows are kind of like a little bit dark. Like the nose, there's like what I'm doing is like I'm casting some shadows on the nose, and I'm also adding some values and sculpting as I go to make sure there's some depth. I'm adding something around her face because I was thinking this is not looking that right, so I added like a tail as like a mechanism as a framing mechanism for the composition. I added the tattoos, and right now I'm kind of fighting with the colors because I'm on my iPad and I realized that the colors are not looking like in the computer, so I'm kind of like finding that, but I'm gonna fix that later. I darkened the shadows on the nose and stuff, and what I do is like I add very dark shadows, like dark shadows on certain areas where the light doesn't reach, like for example like inside the mouth or below the chin or on the nose. It gives it like a really nice effect, but I don't do it everywhere because it loses the magic. So I am like kind of, oh, by the way, the ice cream, I changed the design. That's something that I was not planning. I just decided that because I was thinking that maybe the composition was too boring. So I was like, how do I make this composition better? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna like add a framing device, and the framing device is the tail and the goddamn those spikes that are on the ice cream. Colors here is because these are the actual colors. These are the actual true colors that I was working on the iPad. They look different. They look different because the iPad I'm having trouble with the iPad. So I fixed all the colors. Now I'm adding different outfit variations and also for work version. But for me, it's just like boobs. It's whatever, you know. I'm an artist, so I'm desensitized to that. So I keep adding like a little bit more details and stuff like that. That's something that I'm doing, making sure like the background, it's a little bit blurry. I try to not add too much crazy detail everywhere because there's something called balance, and all of the detail is on the top part of the image. Like the ice cream is crazy, the nose has a lot of contrast, in the hair there's a lot of stuff going on in there, so I have to make sure that the lower part is smoother and there's less contrast. But I'm still like trying to paint and finish the details of the painting. As you can see, the top of the painting is darker and there's more contrast, and then the lower part of the painting I kind of like made it not as dark. I lightened everything up. I kind of like faded. I have a bluish fade going from the bottom to the top, so there's contrast on the face, and I just have to make sure I don't ruin like the softness of the painting, because there's something that I tend to do, or I over render, and eventually it ends up looking a little bit too plastic. So I'm trying to make sure I don't ruin the colors in the process. I am adding the final details, fixing some stuff, adding because right now we have a lot of soft edges, so I'm adding like some hard edges and adding some highlights as well. The painting, I kind of zoom in. You don't see it, but I kind of zoom in and out to make sure there's details in the right areas. Like I'm also painting the other outfit variations, the boob variation there. Adding some outfits. This is a Christmas outfit that I'm adding there, and I'm trying to like add all of those values. This one was a hard part because I had to paint the red on top and make sure that it looked like it's Christmassy, right? So that was kind of like the challenge of this painting, the outfit variations as well, but also to not make it look like it was copy pasted. I added this outfit variation there, added some shadows, some really dark shadows. I like to do that where I add really dark shadows in some areas, but then soft shadows in areas where there's more light and stuff. I sometimes flip the canvas as well to make sure it doesn't look that bad. So fixing some of the stuff is I think in the end when you're trying to fix everything is when it turns out a little bit weird. So you have to go back and make sure you didn't ruin anything, because sometimes when you over render stuff, you just ruin it. This is what happens. You just have to make sure you come back. So that's what I was doing, painting each individual outfit that this character had, making sure all the shadows are right, but also not exaggerating. So in the end, I think it ended up looking too green. I think it ended up looking too blue. I don't know. It's just the colors ended up looking really weird. So what I do is just I go here and on the program of your choice. You go ahead and maybe change the colors. Like I go here and I kind of like go to color balance and kind of like balance it out. I really don't think much about it. It's what I feel mostly. Like I have to do that with every outfit variation, obviously. But thing is, okay, so in the end, I fixed the colors so the red stands out more. And what I do is that I duplicate the layer and I blur it. And then I lower the opacity so you get this effect. This really nice effect. And I kind of like go ahead and erase some areas so there's contrast. There's like some hard edges. And you can do that everywhere, basically. But yeah, this is kind of what I do so it gets that soft extra look. You know what I mean? And this is how the main one looks. There's the other outfit variations, but this is the main one. So look, that's how it turned out. Hope you like it. If you like the video, make sure you click that like and subscribe button. Thank you.